Well, in a fast-moving dispute in the Isle of Man with the buses, we're recording this on Friday morning, because who knows where we'll be later. A week in, Mr. Cregeen, you still haven't got even the timetable you promised the public out.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I think one of the issues that we had was that last Wednesday we had a number of drivers who had committed to coming in. And we understood, and I think the union were along the same lines, that they thought the dispute would be ended on the Wednesday. So some of those drivers committed to doing other things, so that's why we're down on some. And since Wednesday as well, there's been a lot of intimidation, because we all thought it was a secret ballot, but a number of drivers have said to me there was nothing secret about it. They were handed the ballot paper there and then and told to put their mark on it.
Did it have to be a secret? I mean, by law, do we have laws in the Isle of Man that cover this or not?
No, it didn't. The union were running the ballot.
Oh.
And when they say it wasn't their fault, they were running the ballot. It had nothing to do with us. And of course, the drivers felt that some of the more militant drivers actually knew which way they were voting. And there's been pressure put on them between Wednesday and the Friday vote. These
are big accusations you're making here.
It's what drivers have told me. I've spoken to a number of them. I've had people around at my house, and I've been off to see people. I've had people on the phone, and there is a great deal of intimidation. The police are investigating a number of these matters, and it's very disappointing it sort of turned out like this.
Where are you planning to go with this thing now? I mean, we keep hearing about talks underway, but they don't seem to go anywhere, and the union is saying one thing. I mean, I haven't heard from them at all, because they got my number and no communication, but only hearing from your side. So where are we up to?
Well, even the drivers don't know where they're coming from, because the ones I've spoken to, when I've expressed what the terms and conditions are, they said, oh, this hasn't been passed on to us. We didn't know this. And that's the situation. So I've written to all the drivers and pointed out what the terms and conditions are and what the offers were. Even up until Wednesday this week, the union met with management. They said what they wanted. It came to me. I was happy. It was making our savings. It was ticking all the boxes for us of what the savings were going to be. They came back Thursday and said, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. And they haven't even gone and put it to the members. And that's the situation that we are dealing with, is that the members have not been made aware of it. I think the union is very much split, and we're in a situation where, as much as we try to have dialogue with our drivers, with the amount of intimidation for some of them out there, and I think we've seen some of it down on the picket lines and down when the buses are going past, to the drivers who are working, it is very difficult for some of those who have family and children.
It seemed to be, the last I've heard, it's all down to about half an hour about working now. They would want you to go 4 hours and have a break. You want to make them do 4.5 hours. So you're getting closer, aren't you?
The problem that we've got is that because we've been in this dispute for so long, we've had to implement the timetable that we have. It would take a number of months to redo all of this, and we would lose services, because it's not just a case of asking drivers to drive longer. We're not. It's about making them more efficient. We are paying them to drive the time that they're supposed to. A lot of the time that they had before, they weren't driving. It was an efficiency thing. And what was happening was, some of the drivers were getting paid, and we were only getting about 62 to 68% driving time out of the total hours that they were being paid for. So what we're only asking for is for people to work more of the time that they're paid for.
How did we get into this situation? I mean, I asked the Chief Minister this. I mean, somewhere along the line, all these terms and conditions were agreed by government. Yeah. Lunches that are paid for, whatever, in these amount of hours. I mean, you can see that, from their point of view, they've been given this, and now you're taking it off them. I know you're going to say it's all about the cuts and that thing, but do you take any responsibility, I mean, not you personally, but the department, for getting in this situation in the first place?
They were agreed by people who didn't know what timetables and how they worked. This has been done in the good times, when there's been plenty of money, and rather than have a bit of a spat with them, government in the past has said, well, we've got the money, we can afford it. We can't afford it now.
Okay.